Hi guys, Ryu here, and let's talk about default add-ons in Blender and which ones are useful for hard surface modeling. So when you go to Edit and Preferences right here, you can open this window, and under add-ons you can add or remove Blender native add-ons. First of all would be a bool tool. And bool tool add-on is used for Boolean operations. I don't really use it, to be honest, because I'm using a hard option box cutter. However, it's quite useful. So for example, if you have a cube and you duplicate that cube and you select both and press Ctrl-, you're gonna act as a difference boolean, and Ctrl// it's gonna be a slash, and plus it will be a join, a union boolean. So it's simply adding a shortcuts to your boolean operations, make it much more easy to perform. Another add-on will be loop tools. This one is really useful, okay, loop tools. Let's grab a plane and let's duplicate it, okay, somewhere here. And let's merge them together to one object, so Ctrl-J. And let's grab an edge, and this edge, right click, and you can access loop tools here. And you have a lot of options, okay, bridge is one of them. It will simply fill the face or faces between the gaps in geometry. It has to be one object though, yeah. Another way of using this add-on will be to create a circle. So if I subdivide it, let's say once, well, let's subdivide it a few times, okay? And let's grab these four in the middle and loop tools and circle. See, it's gonna create a circle. So then you can extrude it and you can subdivide this mesh because it's, you know, perfect quads, which means, let me show you. So if I select all these edges and extrude them down and create a face, so now I would need to secure these edges with bevels or loops, so I'll do it manually. So let's grab these and the corner ones as well, and we could either do it with a bevel or we could actually add crease. So let's add crease and crease it to the maximum, and then when I add subdivisions, so Ctrl-1 or Ctrl-2, you see that it will get really nicely subdivided. So if I smooth it, right, you're gonna have a nice cut inside and it's all quads. So anyway, that's a few tips on how to use loop tools. Another tool that you might be interested in is mesh tools. So edit mesh tools, this one, yeah. So mesh tools are here, just right click in edit mode and there you go. And you have all kinds of interesting options, for example, flip normals or triangulate faces, right? Or you can merge vertices by distance. So when you have two vertices really close to one another, you can merge them. Another very useful add-on, and in my opinion essential one for your workflow, would be Node Wrangler. So Node Wrangler is going to add a lot of shortcuts to your node work. So when you in shader editor and you work on nodes, whether it be materials in object mode or in world mode, for example, I'll show you in a HDRI file example. So if I delete these nodes, right, if I want to add these nodes back and you know, let's say I'm in a new Blender and I want to work with nodes, all I need to do is select this background node and click Ctrl-T, and this will add and connect all these three nodes that are essential for working with HDRI background for my rendering scene. And if I go to cycles and add some cube and add some material with hard ops and turn off the transparency, you can see that HDRI has been added to my scene. That's how easy that is. So Node Wrangler is a must-have in my opinion, and you should definitely have it enabled. Another add-on that I want to mention is F2. I do not really use it because I use machine tools for this one, but this allows you to add faces to an object quite easily. So for example, if I had a cube and this face was missing, right, and I wanted to add it, all I have to do is select this edge and press F and it's going to add it. However, if this cube was subdivided, right, so let me subdivide it. Now let me select everything first, subdivide it and press Shift R a few times. And now let's say I'm going to just, you know, select these faces and delete them, right? So now if I went with our F2 method, it's not going to really work that well, because you see the Blender gets confused and doesn't really know how to fill this face in which direction. So it's not that straightforward. However, the reason why I use machine tools is this. All I have to do is press 1, vert, press and hold 4, and the magic just happens. Machine Tools add-on is free as well, so there is nothing stopping you from downloading it, and I think it's much more powerful than F2 add-on. Another very useful add-on would be Copy Attributes. This one, Copy Attributes menu. This one is really important. So let's say you have a cube which is rotated and has a bevel on it, and weighted normal modifiers, okay? So we have 2 modifiers running on that cube, right? And I want to copy these attributes to a new cube, which is this one, right? So I want to copy the rotation and the modifiers. So instead of duplicating this cube and placing this cube exactly in the position where I want it to be, I can simply copy the attributes. So I select this cube, and then Control C and I copy rotation, Control C and I copy modifiers. And then all I have to do is change the bevel profile to the same one as on this cube, and I'm done. And this one has also weighted normals and bevel modifier, just like this one. Now I want to mention 3 more add-ons very quickly. So one of them would be 3D box tools, and so let's type tools, and it's this one, 3D print toolbox. Sorry, I never remember the name. I don't really use it often, and this add-on, by the way, appears only when you actually have some mesh in a scene, right? And it's here. And the only function I'll be using is make manifold under cleanup. So what it does, it simply cleans up non-manifold mesh. But to be honest, I'm using machine tools for this as well, because it's just so much easier. If I have some junk flying around, all I need to do is go to edit mode, press 3, and I'm done. Now 2 more add-ons that actually are worth mentioning, and I don't really use them that often, but they're useful. So if you type extra, you can see there are 2 of them, for curves and for mesh, simply more objects for each. So if you go to Shift A and you go to your mesh menu, you can see that you have a lot more objects than in a default menu. And the same goes for curves, there's just plenty of them. So if you need some specific curves or specific mesh of very weird shapes, these add-ons are for you. And that would cover, I think, the most important add-ons for hard surface workflow in Blender, add-ons that actually come with Blender as a program. Thanks for watching.